Salute. Hi, everybody. Peace and blessings. Greetings. Welcome, welcome. I hope everybody's day is going well. Hope everybody woke up feeling blessed because you were blessed. You were able to put 10 toes down to the ground. You were able to control your bodily functions. Your mind was intact, right? You woke up feeling grateful, appreciative. I hope so, because every day is a gift. Every day is not guaranteed, and it's not something that we automatically should expect. So when it does happen and we wake up feeling blessed, then God will allow us to endure more blessings, right? So welcome. Come on in, everybody. Thank you, Genesis 1. You always are so efficient, so prompt, so thorough, so hands-on, and I appreciate you. I really, really do. We got Oliver Green in the house. He said, waiting. I hope KB tardiness not going to rub off. No, it doesn't rub off. I have my moments. I am refining myself to be more punctual. However, I don't like to change the time unless I know I'm going to really be off. But I do appreciate your patience. I really do. And I appreciate you being here. Right. And okay, so we here, baby girl. Amen. Amen. We got Sassy in the building. Greetings to you. We got Strawberry Shortcake in the building. Peace and blessings to everybody. And so you know me, I don't do a whole list of long intros. So if you're coming in and you're watching the replay, peace and blessings to you as well, right? And so definitely those that are coming in a little bit later, definitely go back and watch the replay because I tend to not do long intros. So let's get right into it, right? One of the things I found this to be absolutely mixed feelings, right? And I still kind of have mixed feelings about this whole situation. So, because the topic is kind of new to me, it's not something that that I've been following since its inception or the beginning or whatnot. And so when it was brought to my attention, I was like, okay, I got to really kind of look off into this because, just because it seems to be one way on the surface doesn't necessarily mean that because things tend to take a life of their own, right? So I like to look into the origin of things. I like to look at the beginning of especially if it's considered a movement, right? And so when I heard this being stated in a live, I think it was yesterday, I heard somebody say, sizzle, sizzle, drizzle, drizzle. So I was like, okay, I get it. And then I went on TikTok, and then I went back on YouTube, and I just started watching all of these videos. And I was like, oh, this is like a real thing. This is like, this can actually really go a lot deeper than it just being mere trolling or entertainment. And so what this is for those that may not know, because I didn't until recently, is that this young lady she has like 1.35 million followers. And one of the biggest narratives or topics of her page and of her subject and her content is how to finesse a man. That's just my opinion. That's what I gather from it. That's how I perceive. I watched enough of her videos, and granted, here and there I found some things that I actually kind of agreed with, but to me it kind of also contradicted, like some of the good talking points that I felt she had really contradicted the message that she was sending out as a whole to women. And I find that to be problematic. So let's give some transparency here. I consider myself, if I were to put myself into a category, which I don't, but if I were, I would lean more towards being a traditional woman, right? I believe we have our roles as women. I don't expect for everyone to agree with me. I go off of biblical scripture. I go off of watching my elders and my generations before me, what has worked, what has not worked. And just I feel like there is a natural and should be a natural order of things. Women were created with certain characteristics that spread across. Now, unless there's a disconnect somewhere, I'm not saying that every single woman, goes through that. But what I will say is that I do believe that we have roles based off of how we were created, as well as men. And so when you're out of order, or when you don't sit into that role, and you don't embrace that role, and you don't understand it, then things can get confused and misconstrued very easily when you come and you bring man and woman together, and with the sole purpose of creating a union, right? And when you create a union, usually part of that, the plans of that union is to procreate, is to build family, build legacy, generations, etc., etc. And so this, the one thing that bothers me about this lady's message, and the people that are receiving her message, with her over 1 million followers just on TikTok alone. I haven't looked into the other platforms, but to me that says enough, right? Is that women don't have to bring any value to a relationship. That we don't have to offer a man anything. That based just because we're women and because we were created as female, that we're owed everything from a man, and our expectations need to be so high that without room for error, right? In an imperfect world now, y'all. So let's just go there. So that is what really kind of disturbs me, and not just me, because now the men have responded. Now there is a movement. Whether the men are trolling, some of them are, but I tend to believe that there are some that are not trolling, as in response. And so now they're saying, okay, you want to be feminine, or you want to be treated as an equal, you want to be regarded as valuable, you feel like you're entitled to all of these different things without bringing any value to the relationship. Now we're going to flip the script, and we're going to say that the ball is in our court. So now we're going to flip the script and say that we want the same things. We have the same expectations that you have had. And when I look, and further kind of delve into the subject, there's some men that are definitely trolling and saying, you know what? We're not doing it. And this is why. Or if you want to be with me, this is what you have to do. And what they're doing is they're mirroring and mimicking what the women's expectations are. And I want to classify and go as far as to say modern women, right? So I am here as a woman, as a traditional feminine woman that is comfortable with my role and sitting in my femininity, with the belief system that I absolutely need to be bringing value to a union. First of all, it will be out of balance if a woman is expected nothing. She's not expected to bring anything to the relationship. It's out of balance right there. We don't even have to go any further, because now all of the pressure, all of the burden, all of the responsibility falls on the man, which means anytime there is a negative outcome from a decision that has been made, that's going to fall on him. And eventually that man is going to not feel like a man anymore. He's not going to feel as if he is serving a purpose in that relationship anymore. So there's no longevity there, right? And so I wanted to give some preface because, I find it troubling. And originally I changed my title, and I think part of me should have left it where it was. But at the older title, it stated, how does the agenda factor into this? And because this is now where it started as a Kianis macho situation, now it's a whole movement, y'all. This is where people aren't taking it as trolling anymore. They are actually saying and believing that this is how they're going to switch up and live, and how their roles are reversed or the roles are flipped, right? And now where there's an action, there's always a reaction. So now the men are saying, okay, no, we're not. Listen, unless you making six figures, you got a six pack, you close to 6 feet tall, guess what? You can't date me. You can't, unless you willing to pay for the meals. And when we go out to eat, we can't go out to eat. And we're not doing no Cheesecake Factory. We're not doing no Zaxby's. We're not doing no Chick-fil-A. At least $100 per meal. And now the women are in an uproar, all because the same standards are now expected of them, or at least being vocalized that they're expected of them, right? Now, the problem with that is whether women feel like this is a woman's world that we're living in currently or not, numbers don't lie. So I have heard nobody talk about the ratio of men to women in this world that we're living in currently, right? Nobody's talking about that. There is a very big difference when it comes to the number of men to each woman, or vice versa. So I remember being in my 20s, and back then it was like 7 to 8 women to 1 man. Now I think it's close to 20. It's either 18 or 20, something like that, right? So supply and demand. I always try to equate things to business or in numbers, right? That's just how I communicate. So if I parallel that thought process and I go to the women and the men and the numbers, then this is a man's market, right? So it really leaves us women at a disadvantage. But for some reason, a lot of the women don't walk around and they don't carry themselves as if it's such. They walk around like they're the only woman with 2 legs, a vagina, a set of breasts, that is able to apply makeup with a front lace on that adds value somehow or adds attractiveness. Like there aren't multiple beautiful women within eye reach outside of you, right? So I think that, I kind of, because I've been living enough life, I saw something like this coming, y'all. I did. I was like, these men aren't going to stand for this forever. And I'm actually surprised it took, or it has taken as long as it has. But we see it in the aspect that men just they're not committing. They're not committing like they used to. They're not so quick to commit, to give up, to sacrifice, to embrace women. Now they've become a lot more selective. And in the midst of that, taking that time to become more selective, they're finding their self-worth. They're reinforcing who they are. And they have come to the conclusion that I deserve what I feel I deserve, and I'm not accepting anything less. And you have a whole market of women that are not happy with that. because that is not the world that we living in. That is not who gets the support, right? That is not who is passing the laws, who has the quote unquote power. But men are saying, they're standing up and they're saying, no, we do have power. And we were created to do these things. But since you feel like you don't have to bring anything to the table, you don't have to be held accountable for anything, you don't have to, there are no consequences for your decisions. You got single moms out here having babies recklessly by several different baby daddies, right? None of them are active in their lives. They don't want to commit. They bounce at the drop of a hat when things don't go their way. It amazes me some of the many reasons that women just give up on relationships. And it's like you are moving like there is a huge market for replacements out here, especially if you have baggage. And I'm not saying children are baggage, but it could be emotional burdens. It could be untreated traumas. It could be a whole lot of things, right? Outside of that or in addition to that. And so I say all these things to kind of set the picture of what my opinion is and how I'm looking at it from through my lenses. But I want to go ahead and I want to show a couple of video references, right? And let me tell you, I'm always about the video references because they tell a big story. And because I said at the beginning that I like to see the history and I like to see the origin of things, I want to give some, for people that may not be familiar, I want to give some history on how this whole thing even got to be where people are talking about sprinkle, sprinkle, and drizzle, drizzle, right? Pause. So hold on just a minute, y'all.
Law number 3, don't come straight up and say, look, I'm a gold digger. You're going to have to pay me A, B, C, and D. Or, look, I want to get married. I want to have 5 kids. I know we only on date 1, but this is what I want. Do conceal your intentions. If you want all that, if you want 5 kids in marriage, on your first date, you should be telling people, oh, I just want to have fun and I'm spontaneous. Okay, that way their guard is down. They're like, oh, I can deal with this. Ooh, yes, she's not even talking about marriage. No, she's not even talking about a serious relationship, no strings. That's how they fall for you, because they're letting their guard down around you as well. Okay, so conceal your intentions. Law number 4 says, always say less than necessary. And I talk about this a lot. Don't talk, listen, get all the information that you need to get, and don't give them any that they can use against you. Law number 3, don't come straight up and say, look, I'm a gold digger. You're going to have to pay me A, B, C, and D. Or, look, I want to get married. I want to have 5 kids. I know we only on date 1, but this is what I want. Do conceal your intentions. If you want all that, if you want 5 kids in marriage, are you spontaneous? Okay, that way their guard is down. They're like, oh, I can deal with this. Ooh, yes, she's not even talking about marriage. No, she's not even talking about a serious relationship, no strings. That's how they fall for you, because they're letting their guard down around you as well. Okay, so conceal your intentions.
She said to conceal your intentions. So now we starting off the bat with you being manipulative, with you going into this hoping for a desired outcome and not with authenticity, right? And so when I tell you that this female has over 1 million followers just on the TikTok platform alone, that's alarming to me, y'all. That's alarming, because when I look, if you can just look into the okay, let me just share this. Hold on, I don't know what I did, y'all. Okay, let me just share this again. So Just look at the comments. This young lady says, since I started listening to her, I love myself and myself only. And myself only, right? This should have been my auntie when I was 17 years old. You wouldn't be here if that was your auntie, because these men ain't procreating like that with people like this, especially back then. Okay? Let's go down. Does she have a book? She's got two. And this is a perfect time to add this. Not only does she have two books, but she got a whole husband and a whole family. While she's out here telling women how to manipulate, use do's and don'ts for dating, while she got a whole family at home. Now, whatever the nature and the temperature of her family is, I don't know about all of that, but a picture tells 1,000 words. And I'm just going to say, by looking at his face, he's telling us a whole story by himself without having to say a word. And I'm going to leave it at that. But this woman definitely, to me, is like she speaks from a single woman perspective. Uh-oh, I don't know what happened. She speaks from a single woman's perspective. And I don't know what keeps happening, y'all. I'm sorry. So here, this is not the video I want. Ugh. I was trying to look at the comments. Okay. I'm turned off, period. Bye, child. I love her. Next time I'm asked what I'm bringing to the table, I'm going to definitely say another man. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Sprinkle, sprinkle. This is a whole movement. I will bring a bunch of bills to the table. The bills are all past due. It means there will be late fees. But this is absolutely justified. First of all, if a man is choosing you with a whole bunch of bills and you're not responsible enough to hold your own and pay your own bills and be on time and be accountable for debts that you acquire and accumulate, then that man, he's not making good decisions if he chooses you. I would never. First of all, I'm not bringing a whole bunch of, I will not be in a relationship before I'll bring a whole bunch of baggage into a potential relationship. But not only are women believing that that is something that they can do successfully, but they are also believing that it is their right to do it. Right? So I'll agree. Say, I see why she does this. You see how her do look. Look, I'm telling you, I looked, and she, if you browse through her videos on any platform, it amazes me. It's the gift of gab, it's the mouthpiece, but even so, it's like that mouthpiece is questionable in a lot of aspects to me, right? So I am just trying to understand, why are so many people open to receive this information that she's got to give, right? So now there's this gentleman that responded to her, and he is partially responsible, or actually, at least he's trending now. He's partially responsible for actually responding and creating this man's movement to be able to respond and say, no, this is unacceptable. We're not dealing with this. We're not doing this. And so, yeah, let's just go ahead and give some history on that.
The founder of the soft guy era was Scarface Mark. He motivated men from all around the world to join the soft guy era. However, the history of the soft guy era can be dated back to Jonathan Owens. When he met his beautiful wife, Olympian Simone Biles, he forced Simone Biles to make the first move on a dating site. On a global podcast, he announced to the world that he was the catch. He made this announcement directly in front of his wife, Simone. I can't say that she denied it. For their wedding, Simone bought their matching wedding bands. She was the one that paid for their lavish wedding. Soft guys flip the script and make women pay all the bills. They pay all the bills. They take out the trash and give their men bags of money to splurge on shopping sprees. 2024 is the beginning of the soft guy era thanks to Scarface Mark. Him and Jonathan Owens have changed the rules of the dating game. Drizzle.
So, all right. That's almost worth playing again. But all I'm going to say is social media is the cause of a lot of this. And it perpetuates and keeps it going when it comes to this. Because we're not supposed to know what's going on in Simone Biles' relationship. How and who got the bag, who bought and purchased the wedding bands, how that arrangement even came to be, how they were introduced, what the expectations were. That's way too much information for any of us to be so privy to a person that we have no idea who they are outside of their accomplishments and their personal life. But what it did is it opened the gateway and it let light bulbs go off in men's minds. And one of them decided to use social media to speak on it and to create an entire movement, right? And so when it comes to the roles, it just seems that in that situation, if it's true, we can just say allegedly, because again, I don't know what's going on in these people's households. If these stories are really authentically true, I think that this preceded Simone Biles. But I think because of her celebrity status and her name being so prominent, it was used as an opportunity in order to flip the narrative, or at least to bring some balance to it, right? Or with the narrative that has been going on when it comes to women and not feeling like they have to bring any value or to, contribute anything to the relationship and just become a burden, and you're going to like it that I'm a burden. That now I'm not your woman, I'm your child. You're going to take care of me. I'm going to have the expectations that I'm going to have with no limitations. And once you don't meet those expectations, I'm going to demean you, belittle you, and I'm going to minimize your manhood. And that's problematic. And you wonder why men don't want to commit, much less take you out to a nice restaurant. Like, you don't have to earn anything. I got a problem with that, because when you start talking about traditional women, and there are single traditional women out there that are seeking and looking to be in a fruitful and reciprocal relationship, now the men are traumatized. The men, they've been put on notice. They ain't trying to take that chance. And like, shout out to KB, Kwame Brown, Bus Life. I listen to him, and he is definitely traumatized by his experiences. He's been through a lot when it comes to women, when it comes to siring children with women, with different women. And the treatment, he's got a good relationship with one babe mom, and then not so good with another one, and to the point where it's brought him a lot of grief throughout the years. And it also has probably in some cases limited him from being the father that he wanted to be to his children, because it didn't work out with the baby moms, right? But in what world are we living in to where we don't feel like we don't have to bring any value as women to a relationship? Not even, okay, so, and I'm not speaking for me on this. Let me just make that very clear, that declaration. But it used to, or in some cases, it used to be where women would bring sex to the table. They had something to give. Even if men could get sex from anybody, they could still bring sex to the table. And then in their minds, they're going to gauge, okay, if it's good sex or if it's worth, they're going to establish that value in their heads, right? So it would give them some justification. But now it's like, and I'm not saying right or wrong, I'm just saying what I'm finding in my, seeking information and delving into the minds of the modern woman, because I'm not a modern woman. I don't think like modern women do. I don't agree with the way that they're moving in many aspects. And I think it's super detrimental to us as a community, right? As a community. And I think I try to think long term instead of just in the moment, because in the moment it'll get your ass in trouble. It'll get you slung up. It'll get you hemmed up, right? And when you go through life, not when you go through experiences, you realize that these are things that I don't want on top of things that I do want. Right. And so salute. I'm sorry. I get into my bag, y'all, but I do want to acknowledge my people and my people coming into the chat. Hey, EJ. Thank you for being here. Hey, good morning. Grand Rising. Grand Rising to you. I got Bolo in the house. Yes, always good to see you, babes. Thank you. I got Louis Animal. I appreciate Louisiana more. I appreciate you. Grand Rising to you as well. The beautiful Alexandra, all day, every day. Thank you for being here. Definitely. We got the thumbnail lady in the house. Listen, I don't know what kind of time constraint you are. I want to drop the link, and I think this will be a good conversation that you can definitely, I would value your perspective on it. If you have time, no pressure. But we're just talking about this sprinkle, drizzle, drizzle movement that is taking the social media platforms by storm. And now that the men are giving these modern women that feel that they don't have to bring any value to the relationship a taste of their own medicine, they mad. They mad. They big mad. They really internalizing it. And what started out, I feel, as a troll, as a let me just show you the hypocrisy in your behavior and your expectations. Now they don't like that, the way that medicine going down. They don't like the way it tastes, right? So I was just giving a little bit of background, and if you're just coming to the chat, Simone Biles, it's, I guess her man's name is Jonathan Owens, right? Decided that he wanted to publicize and put on social media the journey of their relationship up into their marriage, and how he set the precedents, he set the criteria of what the relationship was going to be like. And if she chooses him, then this is what it's going to be. She will be the one funding the marriage. She will be the one funding the relationship. She will be the one making the plans. And basically, he's going to, they call it the soft guy era. It's established a whole title and a whole name, the soft guy era. So he's going to be a soft guy, and she is going to be the provider. She is going to be the one that, and there's no meeting in the middle here. It's like we went from women having expectations of men just doing what, to the be all do all, to now the women are expected to do that if you want to be with me as a man. Because what they done effed around and found out is that the numbers don't match up, and that there is a high demand of men and an oversaturation population of women that are seeking men, right? And so they're like, well, hold up here. How is this game backwards? Now I'm trying to sit here and understand, how is it that the women are dominating and running the world, and they get in the bag? They wanted, equal equality. They wanted they're facilitating this feminist movement, all of this other stuff. And then you turn around and it's like, but the numbers ain't look, the math ain't mathing. So no, we getting ready to flip this thing around. And not only are we withholding our funds, not only are we just being particular and saying that, no, I don't want no woman with children. It is. I got that. I got that right. I got that ability. And guess what? There's a lot of women out here that don't have children. I want a woman that's educated. I want a woman that's getting that bag. I want a woman that's owning multiple businesses, a big boss bitch, right? I want that. And guess what? If they're willing to hold out, they will get that. And they are realizing that. Some of them have realized that. And that's why we are. And now the women are mad because the same game is being played on them. And they don't know how to dissect that. They don't know how to digest it. They don't know how to absorb it. None of that, right? But the fact that they used, if this is true, and the origin really, or the movement took off and planted a lot of seeds simultaneously with the Simone Biles story of how her and her husband met, and she's caught a lot of flack from that, right? Personally, for me, I'm going to be looking side-eyed at any man that feels like our journey needs to be publicized to the world. That ain't happening. There are certain things that need to be made private, behind closed doors, not information made to the public. All of this, all of that, and everything documented, not just for my legacy or my children or my generations that, we birth, get to have privy to that information, but the whole world does. And now you done opened up yourself to all of this criticism, all of these different types of opinion. Now you didn't open a portal for these people to come into your house and place judgment. That is crazy to me. At what point do we say this is private? This is something that the world does not need to know. It's none of their business. It's none of their business. And that's where I felt she made a grave mistake. Now, how, if they persevere, they get through it, that ain't my business. I don't know. I don't really care at the end of the day. All I'm saying is that I feel that that should have been something that was private outside of everything else that was going on. And that's just how I move, right? So I want to go to the next video source. I did, if you missed the young lady, I'm not really giving any names because I don't want to give no shine to these people. I'm just gonna keep it honest. I think a lot of them are doing it for financial gain, for clout, for to be publicized, to establish their brand. And I don't agree with the whole concept, because as a community and as a collective, I feel it's very detrimental to us as a whole. And so no, I don't want to give them any shine, because if I had a son that came home talking like this young man talked, I would have an issue with that. Right. And so, but it's what's planted, it's what's invested into these kids when they're being raised. Right. So, Kitchen Clothes Podcast, greetings to you. Hey, Miss Your Thoughts. All right, sis. Thank you for being in the building, and thank you for being in the chat. Yes, be safe out there and don't be typing. All right, Laverne. So, listen. We're going to go to the next, because I want to give context as to how this thing is spreading, how it's expanding, how quick this movement is taking hold, when I personally think that some of the not all, some of the people that really have made this a topic of conversation, if they're content creators, if they're just people that want to get their thoughts out on social media, it's taken hold, and now it's created an entire movement, whether they wanted it to or not. It's here, and this is what we're dealing with, right? This is why I feel like social media is it's been more of a detriment than a benefit to many, and especially when they monetized it, when they made it, gave you the ability to make money on this platform. That's when the devil came in my opinion, and that's just where I'm at with it. And I said what I said. So let's move along.
I'm in my soft guy era. We will no longer be pumping our own gas. When we pull up to the gas station, ladies hop out the passenger seat and pump the gas while we sit in the car and watch TikTok videos. And we are now also requiring at least $100 to be spent on us on the first date. If you can't afford it, you shouldn't be dating anyways. And I see all you females talking about, oh, soft guy era. You like men. If you like men, just say you like men. You want a female to take care of you. Stop yapping. It's getting broke. And this girl gonna have the nerve to ask me what I want to eat, and I said nothing. And she had the nerve to come home with food for herself and nothing for me. Even though I said I didn't want anything to eat, that didn't mean I didn't want anything to eat. Where's my food? You're supposed to be a mind reader. Now, can I get a drizzle drizzle? Soft guy era, it's our time. And you females that's on the street, y'all need to step y'all game up because y'all are losing to these females that's in the penitentiary system. They got dudes lined up just sending them money. Matter of fact, all the friends that I got them a woman that's in the penitentiary system. Y'all got to step y'all game up, ladies. But going about y'all little business. I'm in my soft.
Listen, I'm gonna play that again because he was definitely trolling. So I found some humor in that, but beneath that humor, it was so much truth. All he did was just it said it from a man's perspective, or he said it from a man's mouth. He said it from a man's mouth, a man's body, a man's essence, right? And all he did was say the same thing that women have been saying, right? So we gonna just for the sake of entertainment purposes and maybe for the sake of it sinking in and being able to envision the source of this, and that is our women, right? So let's go. That was funny, y'all. Oh Lord.
Soft guy era. We will no longer be pumping our own gas. When we pull up to the gas station, ladies hop out the passenger seat and pump the gas while we sit in the car and watch TikTok videos. And we are now also requiring at least $100 to be spent on us on the first date. If you can't afford it, you shouldn't be dating anyways. And I see all you females talking about, oh, soft guy era. You like men. If you like men, just say you like men. You want a female to take care of you. Stop yapping. It's getting broke. And this girl gonna have the nerve to ask me what I want to eat, and I said nothing. And she had the nerve to come home with food for herself and nothing for me. Even though I said I didn't want anything to eat, that didn't mean I didn't want anything to eat. Where's my food? You're supposed to be a mind reader. Now, can I get a drizzle drizzle? Soft guy era, it's our time. And you females that's on the street, y'all need to step y'all game up because y'all are losing to these females that's in the penitentiary system. They got dudes lined up just sending them money. Matter of fact, all the friends that I got them a woman that's in the penitentiary system. Y'all got to step y'all game up, ladies. But going about y'all little business. I'm in my soft guy era.
Okay, so let's look at the I don't know how to magnify this. Hold on. Oh Lord, of course not. It couldn't just be that simple. Oh Jesus. Okay.
I'm in my soft guy era.
All right, so just follow me here because every time I try to do some, TikTok do their own thing. So this is what got me was someone's been watching too much Sprinkle Sprinkle Lady. If that is not the ideal message that this brother is trying to convey, is that he ain't saying nothing different from what she's been saying, right? Nothing. But now if you go, like you scroll down, let's scroll down here. We not doing husband stuff before we get the ring. Summertime is almost here. That yard won't cut itself. Drizzle drizzle. Now, whenever drizzle, just to give context here, if drizzle drizzle is said, that means it's the man telling the woman that. So he's telling his girl, summertime is almost here. That yard won't cut itself. Okay. Oh my God. You know what? I'm through with this gentleman. He said, no hymen, no diamond, drizzle, drizzle. Okay. Enough of that. Listen, that I didn't read the comments, y'all. I wasn't ready for that. He said, no hymen, no diamond. But whether they trolling or not, they have the right based on supply and demand and the numbers to actually have these expectations, right? Now, one thing I do want to mention, and I know we laughing and we giggling and all of that, but I think, and I'm just going to take an opportunity to say this because I feel it's a bigger problem than we really give it credit for. One thing I notice about a lot of women today, take however you classify that, is that women don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to talk to men. They don't know how to come with a soft tone. They don't know how to come with an authentic spirit where it's coming from a good place, where you want to see both of y'all do good, both of you grow, both of you expand, both of you get to a point where you're really walking in your purpose, right? It's not just all about you and self, but women that don't know how to talk to people, don't care to learn how to talk to people, not interesting or interested in their delivery, right, is absolutely not going to get the outcome that she's desiring, nor is it coming from a good place or an authentic place where it's apparent that you don't just care about how you feel, but you also care about how this gentleman feels or the man feels, right? And so it matters how we talk to people. You got way too many women walking around here being superly, overly aggressive with men like they got the ball sacks and not the vagina, right? That's a problem. A man is, first of all, you're confusing the man initially. And when a man is confused, he's going to react in a way that you wasn't expecting for him to react. You can't have expectations and domination on how a man responds to you if you're not coming at him, because a man is a warrior in nature. So anything that puts him on the defensive, even if it has a vagina and two boobs and a lace front with eyelashes, does not mean that he's not going to respond in kind. There's an old saying, you can get more honey with, wait a minute, I know I'm getting ready to mess this up, and I was raised on this. Somebody type it in the chat because I refuse to mess it up. You can get more honey. Oh God, come on now, come on y'all, help me. But the message is that you can definitely yield more results with kindness and with authenticity and with sweetness and with being genuine, where it comes and emits from the spirit that you actually give a damn about the person that you're talking to, as opposed to trying to dominate them, manipulate them, yield expectations to pull a power play. There shouldn't be any power plays in male and female unions and relationships. There should be balance. There should be order, a natural order of things. There should be understanding. And it's not going to work if we don't want the best for the person we say we love or the person that we are interested in building with, right? So we have to absolutely make a distinction and distinguish as a woman. Either you're a woman or you trying to be a damn man. There is no fine line. There is no medium. There is no fence. Either you're a woman or you're a man, right? So that's that. And I stand in that. Because now we living in a world where there's I don't know, the last time they said was over 100 different classifications of sexuality, and we wonder why people don't know who they are, what they are, where they are, what they got. You can change what you got with the surgery. You can change what you got with writing a pen on a piece of paper and saying that I'm a man, when obviously I got all women's features and characteristics, physical characteristics. But not getting off of too far off of topic, I just want to accentuate that there's a way to communicate with people in general and specifically somebody that you are considering investing in, that you consider being intimate with, that you consider giving to. We can't just continue to walk around here as women thinking that we can be the do all, say all, and yield all. And then when the consequences come around the pike, when the children don't turn out in a good fashion, because now the boys are effeminate, the girls are too damn masculine. Now you don't want to take responsibility for that, but you ran the whole marriage. You know, confuse those kids to the point where they're confused adults right now. Right? So I express all of this to say that this, we laughing, and it might have started out as trolling, but it has taken a life of its own to where people are really applying these talking points and these principles to their own personal situations and lives, and it's getting ready to mess us up. I want to cuss so bad, y'all, because I get passionate. I want to cuss when I get passionate about stuff. And I'm definitely passionate about anything that deals with our children. I'm passionate about relationships, all of that. But we have to understand as women that we can't just move vicariously through this world and not expect to get results that we desire when we're not understanding the moves that we making and the results and the outcomes that it could yield. That's why it's important to understand what our role is, what our position is, what we were created for. Because if you understand where you've come from, then you'll definitely get clarity on where the hell you're going, right? And where you are. These are simple principles. They're not complicated, y'all. It's not something that is totally out of the realm of our thought process. These are things that are tangible. These are simple applications that we can apply to our daily behavior with not just a man if you're a woman, or a woman if you're a man, but to everybody you encounter, including your children. Children are very, very sensitive to energy. They know when somebody ain't coming correct. That's why they always say children tend to tell the truth, right? Because they do. Now, we learn to lie. We learn to manipulate. We learn to do all these different things. But when a child is going early in their development, they're going to tell you the truth about everything, at least their truth, right? So I want to go on to the next little video source. And I thought this was, you know, I like to lighten the mood because I be serious. I get passionate and I don't want to turn people off. If I do, I just do. And that's what it is. I appreciate y'all being here. But this one, to me, it was like, I think he was trolling too, but it also gave a mirror and a reflection off of what he's been receiving, what his homeboys, and this young man is in the military. Let me tell you, I dated a military man for years, and let me tell you something, they watch everything because they are very, very high in demand. It's a guaranteed income, all of that. Even though I wasn't aware of, that's not what I was looking for. I just happened to fall in love with a man that was in the military. That was my story. Am I perfect? No, but that was still my story. But this, you know, when you're in the military, I quickly learned and found out that military people, male or female, they can become targets, and they can become because the military has very strict rules and regulations regarding unions, marital laws. They have their own sense of doing things, or their own set system of doing things in the military. So anyway, not to belabor the point, if you know, you know, let me just go ahead and share this.
But I want yours. How could we speaking our mind? Now we sassy. Now we acting zesty. But y'all be saying, and did. Don't care. I'm gonna put your ass to work. I'm looking for the big ballers, okay? When that bill comes to the table, don't even look in my direction. It's giving broke girl. And baby, if that's the case, that's fine. Just say that. No judgment, but next caller. I'm sorry, boo. No money on your done yun. It's gotta go. At this point, I'm not even answering the call unless I get a cash app first. Like, what? Where's my money for my haircut? You want me to pump the gas? I forgot my wallet for me, my favorite line. And don't ask me to take out the trash. Baby, I'm in Margiela's. This ain't no soft boy era. This is soft boy forever. What are you talking about? Nah, because I'm seeing all these dudes online talking about soft guy era this, soft guy era that. Y'all wanting girls to pay for stuff. And honestly, bro, you type of dudes, bro, is damn right. It's about time. Personally, if you ask me, it couldn't have been said better. I'm just relieved to know that it ain't just me. You want to come here asking me what I got to offer, what I bring to the table. Baby, I am the table. And it's not the question of do I got money? Obviously, but I want yours. How could we speaking our mind? Now we sassy. Now we acting zesty. What y'all be saying? And did. Don't care. I'm gonna put your ass to work. I'm looking for the big ballers, okay? When that bill comes to the table, don't even look in my direction. It's giving broke girl. And baby, if that's the case, that's fine. Just say that. No judgment, but next caller. I'm sorry, boo. No money on your done yun. It's gotta go. At this point, I'm not even answering the call unless I get a cash app first.
Just say that.
What? Where's my money for my haircut? You want me to pump the gas? I forgot my wallet for me, my favorite line. And don't ask me to take out the trash. Baby, I'm in Margiela's. This ain't no soft boy era. This is soft boy forever. What are you talking about? Nah, because I'm seeing all these dudes online talking.
Yes. Listen. Okay. No, for real. All he did was flip it. That was all he did. He didn't do nothing else. He just flipped it. Same thing that he said. He used the women's quotes because masculine men aren't going to create and come up with the same type of narration or the same type of word sequences and sayings. It's just not, it's not natural. Not saying it doesn't happen, but I don't anticipate. He was way too, he echoed a woman way too much for me to not be trolling, right? So let me just go back. Hey, bald head Wayne. Yes, thank you. And also thank you for the financial blessing. I appreciate you as always. It's always good to just see you, your presence in the chat, your engagement. Thank you so much. And there was somebody else. Hey, Trina. Yes, Miss Trina's in the house. We got Joe Delaney. Peace and blessings to everybody. CX is in the building. Yet T. Smith and showed up. Amen. 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 We got double speaks in the house. Yo, Bolo, please drop links in the chat to those that content creators that are present that have channels actively. To yours, to you, both of your channels. If you could do it to Double Speaks channel. If I'm missing anybody, please charge it to my head and not my heart. But Bolo's really good about that. So I'll leave that up to him since he can go through the chat. Thank you, everybody, for being here. So listen, this thing is okay. Especially like with his case, and I have firsthand experience of seeing how things go down in the military, right? And listen, it's better to be married and to get hitched up than it is to be single while you in the military, because you're going to catch them all. You're going to catch all different sizes, flavors, people with different intentions, this, that, and the other, right? But I wanted to show that because it started out as trolling, but again, when you read the comments, in each one, it is a whole movement. There is a whole sector on this topic, and that's when it becomes an issue for me, or concerning for me at the very least, because it is not promoting being a union. It is not promoting harmony. It is not promoting what God intended for us to do and where we should be. And that's man and woman being together and cohabitating and procreating, right? And so that's problematic when you have, and it's also very telling when you have so many people that are following these, to me, harmful topics and discussions and coming to conclusions that will affect them for the rest of their lives potentially, right? You got men out here that ain't interested in procreating. You have women that are out here being inseminated by gay men. Yeah, I said that right. Absolutely true. There is a dynamic that comes with all of this, y'all. To me, there's always a bigger picture than what just seems to be on the surface. There's always a bigger picture. And that bigger picture needs, in my opinion, to be highlighted more than the saturated level service bullish that we succumb to because it's more entertaining. When you start dealing with long-term outcomes and looking at things farther out than just your immediate moment, then it promotes accountability, and it also yields consequences, whether it's today or whether it's 5 years from now, whether it's 7 years from now. We as a community have to start looking at things as long term, as more thoroughly. How does this affect us communal wise, right? And so it's a problem, y'all. It's a problem that we are walking around here with a war between women and men, because that's what it is. It's a war. It's a war. Not only are we in a spiritual war dealing with, and I'm talking worldwide, I'm not talking about just what affects your immediate city, town, community, street. We're talking about worldwide. There is a massive spiritual war going on. And if you know, you know. If you're watching and if your eyes are open to see, then you are aware that there's a lot of things that are shifting and changing at an accelerated rate. We need to be awake a lot more than we need to be asleep. In addition to that, the attack, in my opinion, has always been on the core family. It's always been on the family. Because if you can take the father out the house, separate the mother and the father, make them think that one another are enemies, then you're not going to be able to trust nobody. But you will rely on outside sources in order to be able to facilitate your day-to-day activities or your life. That's deep, but that's real. And that again is looking at the bigger picture, right? So let's see. I know I got more. There is this one video that I definitely want to I like to establish timelines, y'all. So there's what kind of bothered me, and I'm going to show this one next, is his father. He got a bag and he puts it on the table, and he got a little daughter. She don't look like she no older than about 4 years old, maybe 5 at the most. And this little girl, her mother or a woman, I can't confirm that for 100%, but I can't imagine a father allowing some strange woman to be able to talk to their child like that. But I would assume that this is the mother is in the background talking about sprinkle, sprinkle. And she's passing along at this tough, tender, impressionable age. This girl doesn't even look like she's in school yet. In my opinion, if she is, she ain't made it out of kindergarten. So you're instilling these values in her before she can even reach puberty. But anyway, let's go.
There you go. One. There's one. There's your cut, okay?
Evie, don't accept that. Evie, you gotta ask for more. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Here you go. Take it all.
Yeah. I did all the work.
Evie, say sprinkle, sprinkle.
They thought it was funny. Well, at least the mom thought it was funny, right? I was mortified. That little girl didn't have to do nothing for it. All she had to do was sit there and look pretty. That was it. Sit there, look pretty, and because I'm daddy's little girl, guess what? I'm entitled to all of that. So I wanted to just point out that there are a lot of people that are really taking this seriously. And even if they aren't taking, because they laughed at the end of the video, but you told a little bitty girl this. You taught her a lesson that she will probably either have to unlearn or relearn, or that she will have to carry for the rest of her life and end up possibly being very alone. And dad should have spoke up, in my opinion, right? So there is one more video source. I don't know if y'all got the time, but to me, again, I always look at things as being multi-layered, y'all. There's never, it never stops at being on the surface of any topic of conversation. Everything has multiple branches, just like a tree, just like a flower, like a branch. You never see a branch where it's just one line or one branch. It always has extensions of itself, even though the source is one branch or one anchor. It always goes out into different directions. To me, that simulates life, that simulates subjects, that simulates the origin of anything that branches out and morphs into other things, right? So let's go ahead and start this one. And yeah, let's do that.
Drizzle Drizzle. What is Drizzle Drizzle?
What is Drizzle Drizzle? Well, in a nutshell, it's the response to this lady. Yep, that's right, Miss Sprinkle Sprinkle. The one who's done more to educate men on how toxic and narcissistic today's modern women are than I ever could. Men have picked up the ball and they're running with it. They're saying, okay, fine, ladies. If you want to have your sixes, we're going to have our variation too.
He says sixes, meaning 6 feet, 6 figures, and six-pack.
If you're going to set higher standards, so are we. Whatever standards you set for us, we're going to set for you. All in the interest of equality. So ladies, we've been warning you, be careful what you wish for, because the day has come when your standards are going to be applied to you.
Drizzle Drizzle.
What does the word drizzle drizzle mean? It just basically derives from the word sprinkle sprinkle. Basically, a word women have been using, complaining that men ain't. Okay, so basically, men have re-engineered it, turned it into drizzle drizzle, basically pointing the gun back at women, and now men in their soft guy era are now complaining that women aren't. Okay, so basically, a man will say, I make 70 grand a year, and you better make $2 million a year, and you better pay for my hair, you better take care of me, you better pay for my meals. That's basically what drizzle drizzle is. Okay, so how you would use it in a sentence, for example, would be if a woman was like, hey, let me take you out on a date, and then the guy would be like, yeah, where we going? And then the woman would be like, yeah, let me take you to McDonald's, you get whatever you want. And the guy would be like, oh, hell nah, you better bring a friend to make it clear this is not a date. Bring sprinkle or drizzle drizzle. Okay, that's how you would use it in a sentence.
Drizzle Drizzle.
All right, ladies. The men have decided.
Okay, so I'm doing this for commentary purposes, but this next clip is actually the one that I definitely want us to hear. I like it when it comes from a woman's perspective, but she is supporting when it comes to making sense the men. And when it's all said and done, the question that keeps reverberating in the back of my head is that, wow, y'all women walking around here thinking that you can get something for nothing. How is that working out for you? I am so thankful and so grateful that that is not my spirit, that is not who I am, that I've never been good with feeling like I owe people. So it gave me an independent, to an extent, mindset that if I want something, even if somebody else gets it for me, at least I'm able to provide it for myself if nobody else is there, right? And so that has really blessed my life, because that also shows me that I don't put my level of happiness and peace in the hands of anyone else. That is something that is provided from myself. And so I have control, and I am able to gauge exactly what it is that makes me happy. That's nobody else's responsibility, right? So let's continue.
Decided if you can't beat them, join them. So drizzle, drizzle to your sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay? At the end of the day, you told men that they were toxic just for being men. You told men that strength and macho behavior and all the rest of the things that come along with being a man, those things are all bad. Put them away. Okay. They said no problem. They have no problem being in their soft guy era. So I hope you're not concerned about who's going to be taking out the trash, because guys have decided you, princess, you get to take out the trash. And while we're talking about royalty, I hope you're not wanting to be a passenger princess, because these guys, they want that treatment too. Fair is fair, right? Anything you can do, they can do. All right, well, they've decided to match your sass, and now they're embracing it. So I hope that you get everything that you wanted, because ladies, y'all have created some monsters, okay? So buckle up and enjoy the ride. I don't think it's ending anytime soon.
Definitely. I agree with her. I definitely agree with her. You created this monster. Instead of getting mad, buckle up and enjoy the ride, because all that is being done is what my word for 2024 has been, and half of 2023, and that's called reciprocal. Reciprocity, right? So you're going to get what you've been given. What you've been giving me, you're going to get in return. Now it's up to me whether I give you more or less, but at least there will be a balance. So you're gonna have to sit back and eat that. That's just how it goes. For how long have women been exercising this behavior? I know I've been shaking my head and raising my eyebrows and looking sideways for at least, I say 7 to 10 years. 10 on the high, 7 on the low. 1 year on social media platforms seems like 5. If you miss one day on YouTube, you done missed a whole week. So you do the math on that. But I digress. Then that's where we at. So let's continue.
Drizzle, drizzle.
I brought the rain jacket out. Drizzle, drizzle.
Fellas, if you're a soft guy, drizzle, drizzle, and you're in your soft guy era, know your worth. I remember it was this video where this guy went viral. He was talking about this shorty he was talking to, and he asked her, "Hey, I'm pretty hungry. Could you bring me some food?" And she said, "Are you going to send me the money?" What? Am I going to send you the what?
Drizzle, drizzle.
Before I met my lovely wife years ago, I was a single guy just living in Detroit, living a bachelor life. I used to deal with this one chick, and she wasn't even from the city. She lived in another city, 20, 30 minutes out. Every time, and I'm talking at least 2 to 3 times a week, if not more, every time she came to the city, she stopped at my house and brought me something. "Hey, I'm not too far from your house. Can I bring you some food?" Yes, you can. Fellas, if you don't know your worth, she won't know your worth. Drizzle, drizzle.
Fellas.
That part. And that goes for men and women. And I think that's liquid gold, right? It's knowing your worth. Because knowing your worth will help you establish and set your boundaries. And everyone needs boundaries. Everybody needs to set boundaries. That's why it doesn't go hand in hand with people pleasing. We're trying to please everybody. Because with boundaries, you're going to gain dislike, disdain, and enemies. People don't like boundaries. when it comes to your boundaries, them being yours. But without them, you're vulnerable to any and everything. Your life is going to be absolutely disheveled, because people are only going to respect the parameters and the boundaries that are put in place. And a lot of times they have to be enforced. They have to be re-accentuated. You have to remind people, yo, I told you, keep playing, right? People don't like that. People don't like for you to tell them, okay, well, no, there's a limit. There's a line that I will not tolerate you crossing, right? So let's continue. We're almost done, y'all.
Plus, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. A lot of y'all think this is satire and it's a joke. I think some men out there are really taking it serious. They're really on that time where they're like, I had enough. I'm tired of all these unrealistic high standards. I'm gonna hold myself to my own standards and my own boundaries. Drizzle, drizzle.
I agree with that. Absolutely. And I said that earlier, is that, you know what? I think it started out as, people attempting, or men attempting to send a message. But because it was taken serious by a lot of men, and that light bulb went off, it was like, yo, yeah, you made a good point. You're right on that. The ball is not as much in their court as they think it is. So I do have the ability to set some boundaries, to establish some expectations of my own. And not only that, but I get to enforce them, and I don't have to make a whole lot of adjustments on my end outside of what I'm already doing. That's naturally instilled in me, right? So let's continue.
What's actually hilarious is the amount of women that are outraged by this soft guy era, because basically these men are flipping the roles on them, and they realize how ridiculous and unrealistic it sounds when a man says it, but then when they say it, it's not ridiculous. Like, some women have even gone as far as to call these men and act really towards them for simply asking for what they're asking for. And what I get from it, even if it is a joke, jokes aside, it's about reciprocation, and it's showing how many women expect it automatically because their inflated egos are telling them that they deserve it no matter what, without any reciprocation. And I don't know about you guys, but any relationship that you're in deserves appreciation, reciprocation, and I think a lot of you guys need to go back to kindergarten, where we learn to treat others how you want to be treated. Because if you don't want to be used, then don't use people.
It's that simple. It's that simple.
Don't want to be looked at as a paycheck, don't be a gold digger. If you want respect, you have to give respect. If you want someone to be compassionate and considerate, you have to be compassionate and considerate. And yes, this absolutely goes both ways. So the fact that so many women are showing the fact that they'll never reciprocate the same energy, this explains why so many men are out here, just match my energy and I'll match yours. And the problem is, it's not happening. It's the same way that so many women will come online and bash men and talk about men and talk about their first dates being awful. But the moment that my platform or other women like me call out toxic behaviors, it's a problem. So y'all can talk about men and their toxic behaviors, but when women call you out on your own toxic behaviors, it's different. Anyways, drizzle, drizzle, kings. Okay, bye.
That's it. The reciprocity. It's being reciprocal. It's being a balanced relationship, a balanced intention on developing a relationship. I'm quick, and that's just me. Like, if I go out on a date, the first date, the men tend to, pay. But if we continue to go out on dates, because I usually court outside of my home, I would say, I got you. I got this. Reciprocity. If you don't show that early on, what would make you separate from anybody else that he may be dating or considering as a potential partner? Men are looking for balance too. Men are looking for a union. They're looking for a building block. They're looking for an opportunity for you to uplift one another and build something together. Because you can do that by yourself. It's harder. It takes twice the work with the less amount of people, but it still can be done. People do it every day. So why would a man or a woman, in this case, for the sake of discussion, why would any of us get with somebody that didn't have any value to bring to the relationship? It just doesn't make sense. It's irrational thinking, in my opinion. It's toxic. It means you either have some codependency issues, you got some mental issues going on, or you have some really low self-worth to the point where you haven't learned how to establish parameters and barometers and put boundaries in place to where you will not accept less than this in the form of the way that you're being treated, right? And so with that being said, I pretty much have said my opinion and my perspective on things. I thought it was a very interesting topic. I thought it's very prevalent. It's not just trending news or trending events. But again, I always try to look at the bigger picture. There is a depopulation agenda that is being pushed from so many different areas and aspects at this point, y'all. It is insane when you really, if you woke and your eyes are open and your third eye is open, you know what you know, you see what you see. And it can be, everybody can't digest what the real is and what the truth is. A lot of people choose to stay ignorant and live in their own bubbles, right? And so it definitely yields when you can, again, tear apart the core family and the union, and you separate the man and the woman. Not only does it cause them to become enemies in many cases, but it also slows down and prevents people from procreating, right? And so it's been no secret that the big people have let it be known that they feel it's too many people on the earth. So we really need to take things like that into account and look beneath the surface level of why things are the way that they are and what is the desired outcome for the powers that be. And so with that, I'm going to drop the link. I don't know if I have, overstayed my welcome this live. If anybody has anything to contribute, they have anything to say, it's perfectly fine. If you don't, I just like most of the time to present the opportunity for anybody to vocalize themselves if they choose to. But I have, I just wanted to promote some thought, give perspective, look at it from a different side. Being a woman and being established and comfortable in my femininity and understanding my role as a woman in the relationship, I wanted some of this information to come from me, right? Because we need representation on all sides in order to reach the people that it needs to reach. And so that's where I'm at with it. So let me just go through the chat real quick. Actually, let me see if there are any. Okay, so I see a Cash App on my phone. Thank you so much, Louisiana Mo. I appreciate you. Thank you for your financial blessing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're too kind. So we got anybody new in the chat? I don't think so. I think I've greeted everyone. And if you're still here, that's fine. I appreciate you. If you're not and you come back, please watch the replay. Or if you're new into the stream, watch the replay from the beginning. I think it's it shows some history as to this sprinkle, sprinkle, drizzle, drizzle movement that has definitely taken a life of its own and a form of its own outside of the original intent, in my opinion. I don't think people really understood how how fast and accelerated and how big this thing would grow. But we are really, really at risk for too many people to establish this ideology and this mindset, y'all. Could be very damaging for us as a community in the long run. We're just not procreating like we used to, and we don't value family, and we don't work for it like we used to. People are very, very comfortable being alone, and that's a danger to us as a community, and we're the only community that does that. You go into any type of other culture, and family is typically at the forefront and at the top of the list of their level of importance and their priorities. So I don't understand, how is it that we have gotten so far detached and gotten so far lost in the sauce as to what is really, really important, not just today, but in the long run. And that's bothersome, y'all. That's a problem, because just like now, we have people that wake up and one morning and they're like, damn, how did we get here? How did we get to this point? How are we so messed up? Because we didn't pay attention to the things that affect us in the long run. That likens me to an election, a presidential election as well as local. Usually those terms are 2 to 4 years, local and federal, right? And it's like, so 4 years down the line before you cast that vote, what policies have been vocalized that were going to change or be implemented or otherwise? We look at what's going wrong now, and that this is a better replacement than that last replacement, but we're not asking the pertinent questions as to why and who and what is going to change 3, 5, 7, 10 years from now if I make this decision today. And I'm afraid that in the next 5 years, we're going to be reverberating the same damn conversation applicable to what's going on now that we're not paying attention to and not doing anything about on a personal level. Because it has to start out on a personal level for it to become a community effort, right? So I just wanted to promote those thoughts and give that content and that context for us to be able to think a little further ahead than we typically do. But I'm going to say that it's it's not in our favor to do that. We are trained, we are programmed, and our lives are typically designed inside of the matrix to think about the here, now, and the immediate future. What bills need to be paid? What's this? What's that? That's why so many people pass away and people do GoFundMes, or they don't have any means, or there's one family member that everybody is leaning on that's probably doing financially better off than everybody else to fund this funeral, right? Because we don't think long term, and we're not designed to. So we have to definitely battle and reestablish our mindsets in order to think more long term, because that is, to me, is a lot more important than thinking about what's going to affect us here in the near future, a week from now, 6 months from now, even a year from now. 5 years from now, the long-term results are going to be more substantial than they currently are within our immediate, time frame, or our immediate future. So Baldhead Wayne says the dating scene is crazy nowadays. I'm glad I found a good one years ago. Amen. Amen to that. It is definitely. I heard somebody say the dating scene got pee in it. And then somebody took it a step further to say that the dating scene had poop in it. So I don't know where we go from there, but it is definitely a tough market. I have to say it's a tough environment to try to gain, somebody that you envision in your mind, or at least that you have to bring to the table. You just want somebody to halfway match that, right? Halfway meet you the halfway mark, so y'all can build together and life can be a little bit easier for you collectively than it is individually. So, all right, y'all. Well, it's okay. Nobody wants to hit the link. I appreciate everybody's engagement in the chat. I appreciate y'all dropping in. I appreciate the Bushwatchers. I appreciate any new subscribers that may come or that have subscribed to this stream. If you haven't, please consider it. Also, turn all of your notifications to all notifications on, right? So, because I'm random when it comes to lives. And so thank you to those that have blessed me financially and blessed the platform. I appreciate all of y'all. And we're not going to belabor the point here. So I hope everybody has a wonderfully blessed day. I hope that you're productive. Hope you get outside and get some fresh air. It's beautiful where I am. So I'm definitely going to go out and get some sun, which is why one of the reasons I'm glad that I was able to do this live relatively early. So definitely, like I said, be productive, do something that you don't typically do in your daily routine, especially if time permits. And I appreciate each and every last one of y'all. I really, really do. And with that being said, I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and peace.